What's up, guys? Welcome back to this week's episode of Two of Our Own. Very, very first of all, thank you guys so much for last week's episode. It's on almost 300 views, which is absolutely fucking insane. So thank you very much. I'm joined by the second best Harry to ever put on a Tottenham shirt after Harry Winks. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thanks, man. You, how you been?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We went to London today, so you guys are watching this on Friday. So on Tuesday, I went to London to give the shirt giveaway, like I said last week. I got there, I met the guy, I met Maverick. He's an absolutely lovely guy. However, Tottenham being Tottenham and their lifetime worth of inconvenience, the club shop was closed. So, because they're restocking shelves and resorting out, they've got loads of mannequins all over the place and they're doing loads of restock stuff for the new season. So, we're going to go back in a couple of weeks' time. When I go down and lay some flowers on my friend's grave, it'll be 3 years since he passed away. You guys know Rams from the very, very original series of Two of Our Own. So when I go down for that, I'm going to go buy the shirt. And yeah, he was an absolutely lovely guy, absolutely sound guy. And I'm really, really happy he won. I know I picked it, but it's going to a good guy. So I'm really, really happy he won. But yeah, so that was the kerfuffles. I've been in London all day today. So if I sound or look tired at any point, I've walked like, I can't remember, it was like 20k, I don't know what it is miles, but I walked like 20 kilometers today. So it was like 18,000, 20,000 steps. So just bear with me. All right. This week, we're going to talk about transfer sagas, the best and the worst of Tottenham Hotspur's absolute shit transfer decisions. And I'm going to start with my proposal for the worst transfer saga we've ever had. For an English striker who we were in talks to sign from West Bromwich Albion,
I knew.
Saido Berahino. Now, I'm going to tell you something funny about Saido Berahino. I was watching a video the other day where he did a podcast and he was talking about that transfer window. And West Brom valued him at 30 million and Spurs were prepared to pay 30 million. But Daniel Levy bid £1 million up front for him and £29 million in like 12 installments. Now, first of all, Saido Berahino would never have been at Spurs for 12 years in the first place. So what the fuck was he playing at? Second of all, I remember that summer. We were linked with Berahino from literally the back end of the last summer. Before that, we were linked with him all summer. He had a really, really good season for West Brom. And we were linked with him the minute transfer window opened, it was Saido Berahino, Spurs have been rejected, Spurs have been, and it went on and 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 on. And we just never signed him. And thank fuck we didn't, because instead of him this summer, we signed current Tottenham Hotspur captain Heung-min Son, and my favourite Spurs player to ever play on the shirt in my lifetime. And I think it turns out, Harry, that we got the good end of that in the end.
But weren't we trying to get both of them, though?
Well, I was going to say, that being said, it makes me wonder if that's how we were going to structure the Berahino deal. How much did we really pay for Son? Was it 27 million or was it 1 million and 27 million in the next 30 years? Which, if it was that, then that's been a bloody good deal so far. But yeah, that's my proposal. My second proposal for the worst Spurs transfer saga ever has to be Georgia's Kevin Nkudu, who sat in a hotel for weeks and weeks. I can't even remember whether it was visa problems or whether, he had permission to travel to complete the transfer and then the paperwork didn't go through, or I can't remember what it was, but he was in a hotel for weeks and weeks and weeks before it finally went through. And it turned out he was just a poor man's Lamar. And it was a disaster. And do you know, I saw a tweet the other day. He got 20 goal contributions in Saudi League last year. And someone said about signing another player who's crap. And someone replied, going, should we just sign Nkudu back because he got 20 goal contributions last year? And I was talking to my stepdad about it on the Underground earlier. And we were just laughing at some of the absolute shit players that have played for our club over the years. What do you put forward as your worst transfer saga for Spurs?
Well, two come to mind. One is going to trigger people and one's going to be more of a personal one. So I'm going to go with the personal one first. João Moutinho, for me, was a really horrible transfer saga. Bear in mind, AVB earmarked him as his number one target that summer.
Yeah. That was when he was at Monaco, wasn't it?
It was at the time we still had Bale, because it was the first window AVB was here. And obviously we're going for fourth as per usual. And he was like, Modric had left, we've got Dembele in, but he really wanted Moutinho. It gets the deadline day after, 3 months on the transfer window. And then Spurs finally reportedly agreed a fee of 28 million or 30 million, whatever it was. And I thought, yeah, it's good, it's going to done. But then I hear there's going to be a deal sheet. The deal sheets.
Yeah, they
And
never go through.
And anyway, so I'm up till like 2, 3 a.m. waiting for this transfer to go through because we always do it late. And it turns out we missed out on him because not everyone signed or something on the thing in time. So that's one that kind of haunts me because I was obsessed with trying to get into Tottenham pretty much because AVB really wanted him. And
in his prime years, he was such an elegant player. He's a great pass for the ball.
He'd been perfect at AVB, honestly.
Yeah, he would have been, yeah.
And he would have been the perfect replacement for Modric as well. I think he would have been, obviously, you're not going to be in this league as Modric, but in terms of
it'd have been a good
AVB,
replacement for what we could have attracted at the time.
Perfect replacement for Modric at the time. Yeah. I think Dembele was more a ball carrier rather than like a playmaker like Modric was.
Yeah,
the number
Moutinho
2
would have been a playmaker. Yeah.
Is going to really trigger people, but the Willian transfer saga.
Oh my god, I forgot about that! You absolute bellend. Oh.
So, as people know, he had his medical.
I forgot about that. He had a medical. We paid for the plane and then signed for Chelsea. Oh my god!
Yeah,
I completely forgot about that. Man came to war. Jesus Christ! Do you know what makes it worse about that whole transfer saga? Is the song Chelsea fans sing.
Oh, I hate it so much.
About it. Oh, it gets under my skin. It's so irritating. It just maybe I should have picked a different topic. Fucking hell. Do you know what's annoying as well? I think Willian would have really suited Spurs.
Again, those are 2 players that AVB would have wanted, right? And they would have suited.
Yeah, and Levy cocked up both of them as per usual.
Yeah. In fairness to the Willian deal, there's the one deal I don't really blame Levy for because, I mean...
Yeah, we just got hijacked and stabbed in the back, but still.
Yeah. We actually agreed a fee, and I think that was basically he passed his medical.
We agreed a fee, we agreed a contract, he passed the medical. What was it? Was it he left the training ground or something to go and make a call and then never came back?
Yeah.
Like, that's just fucking nuts. Imagine going, where's Willian, mate? He was on the medical table a minute ago. No, he's just popped out to go get something from his car. Mate, he's fucked off. What are you doing? And then that being, right, we need to clamp players' wheels. But do you know what, right? Do you know the one thing that this really does put into light? We were talking last week about how Ange wants players that want to play for the club, give everything for the club, want to play for Tottenham and have no doubts at all. If you notice, there was a large period where we had players that we had to go to intense levels to convince to join Tottenham. Now, I feel like if someone's not 100% certain in meeting 1, there's not a meeting 2. Do you know what I mean? I think there's been so many players that... I mean, you look at Vicario's response last year on the topic of it being it was a year ago. It's a year ago tomorrow that we signed him. And you look at his response saying that he would have signed the contract in blood and he would have walked from Italy to the stadium and whatever. And you see that in the way he plays and you see that in the passion and the love and the commitment he has for Spurs. I really do feel there's been a shift in the last couple of years towards building a squad of players who really do love the idea of playing for Tottenham, are blown away by the stadium, love the atmosphere, love the fans. I think there was a large period for Tottenham where we were almost convincing players to come and play for us out of sheer desperation. And I don't know. I don't really know what point that changed. I think for me it was the period.
Should I say what changed it? In my opinion, so under Martin Jol, he kind of kicked it off in the sense in a good way because maybe you weren't old enough to remember this, but Edgar Davids did sign for Spurs at some point. Which at the time was actually massive. Like,
he's actually the first player I remember in a Spurs kit.
So. It was massive. I remember. I mean, I was quite young at the time still, but I remember growing up watching the Dutch side, and Davids was obviously like quite a regular in that team. And obviously, along with the other Vanders and whatever, he was probably one of my favourite players, actually. And when he signed for Spurs, it was quite a big coup, especially because he kind of arguably should have really pushed us to Champions League. It's not really his fault, but poisoning the last day. But as in, it was quite a massive thing. And I think that kind of made us, in a sense, because we got that player. After that, I don't think convincing players was so difficult. I mean, Berbatov came for a bit, but I do think players did use us for a stepping stone for a while as well. and I still think it happens now. But then what period I think went wrong was after when Redknapp left.
Yeah. But
And
I
that
would
period
say, if I was to pinpoint it though, I would say the period where we became more attractive as a club to join was the 4-3 loss to Inter Milan.
Inter Milan,
Because that night, young players looked at Spurs as, I can go, I can blow on the world stage, I can show the world what I can do, and I will become everything I want to be. And I think for a while after that, we signed quite a few young players that had the mindset, just didn't necessarily have the ability to reach the levels Bale did. And I think now you look at young players. Me and my stepdad were talking about it earlier, and he was saying that for so many years, Spurs have either signed players after their peak, or they've signed players and then sold them before their peak. Obviously, I know Richarlison's injury problems, but you look at Maddison, 27, 10, 28, perfect time to have a player of that quality. Richarlison, 27, 10, 28, if he could stay fit, perfect time to have a player of that quality. Mixed in with the youth and the pace and you got Romero, who's younger than what his maturity shows or did show last season and has showed for Argentina this summer. You look at Vicario, 27, signed, literally going into his peak. I feel like we've bought peak players in the key spine of the team and then creative attacking youth players around that to give the energy and the legs to the team. And that's why I wouldn't be surprised, and we'll go on to it properly afterwards, but I wouldn't be surprised if the holding midfielder we signed to replace Højbjerg, spoiler alert, is a bit more of a mature player than what we expect it to be. So that our main spine of the team is players going into their peak, if that makes sense. And I guess that is it really shows a change. Spurs have had young players, far too old players, or players that are crap. Now we've got players going into their peak, young attacking quality behind them, and then the youth behind that. And I think that is a really, really good model, providing that the quality of your peaking spine is good enough and fit enough and strong enough to help carry the more inexperienced players. I think that's always a good thing. Have you got any more transfer sagas that you can think of?
I didn't want to bring. Oh, that was Berbatov when he left. That was horrible. He left until deadline day to let him go. We got Fraser Campbell as a return. That was horrible.
It's ridiculous.
Because Berbatov actually went on strike. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
People forget that, and when players are gone, it's kind of hard to not. It's hard to still hold it against them once they're old and retired and whatever.
I know. Like you do when you're younger. Berbatov now, I probably wouldn't be bitter about it. So.
And do you know what? I'll tell you one. And it wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a saga to the length of some of the others, but it felt like a saga personally. Was Walker to City?
I didn't think it was that bad.
Because I'll tell you why. Because originally they bid. It was 35 million first, I'm pretty sure, and then it went to 50 million. And in that period between that, there was so much disarray with the fans. Like, Levy's promises he's not selling anyone, promises this is the start of the build, whatever. I was so adamant that he was not going to sell Kyle Walker under any price. So then when that 50 million came through and came accepted, and then he went through, and I've come here to win trophies, blah, 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 blah. I still call him. Oh, shut up! I still call him Walker the Wanker. I feel like that whole summer was just horrible.
But I guess my opinion on that was different because I was at the last game at the Lane when he was playing, of course, and and obviously I stayed later. They had to kick me out at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So I saw the players walking around, and the way Walker was body language, the way he was doing, obviously he was waving to the fans. I knew he was gone. 100%. I was like, this guy's gone. Whatever happens in the summer or something, he's staying. I was like, no way, he's gone. And I think after the Modric thing, and the Modric thing was a bit different situation when he kept doing that at the time, because he probably saw Chelsea as a rival for fourth at the time. Obviously, they won the Champions League, but
Levy accepted less to send him to Madrid, didn't he?
With City, I think. I mean, Walker had been here for a lot longer as well than Modric. Yeah. He's been here since Redknapp, Walker. and they must have had some sort of a gentleman's agreement. I think they did have an agreement, from what I remember, saying he could go if.
Yeah, because didn't he ask to leave in the January or something?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
asked to
and that's when,
leave
because
halfway
remember that
through the
season we had
season.
that cup game and we lost and he didn't play. Do you remember?
Yes.
Against Chelsea, ironically.
Yeah.
So there was, remember, Son played left wing back. Part of the reason was because Walker didn't play that game, remember? And I think it was partly to do with the transfer or something.
To transfer something, yeah. Yeah, because he just kicked up a massive fuss.
And Danny Rose didn't play either, did he? I think it was
No, Rose was injured at the time, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've got any random Tottenham transfer sagas, then leave them in the comments. I'm trying to think of some others as well, but what transfers really got dragged out?
I wouldn't say Porro because I still think they just, I mean.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that was.
I wouldn't say any of the modern ones had a lot of drama in them, really. The only one, like I said, I remember Berbatov because he went on strike. And obviously, Willian got hijacked, and Moutinho was like one because I stayed up till 3 a.m. waiting for him to bloody
That's crazy, yeah. And then obviously we had my
refreshing news now,
Kudu, who was
stuck in the hotel.
Stuck in the hotel. Do you know what? I'll tell you another one I've just thought of. Do you remember when we were linked with Michi Batshuayi when he was at Monaco?
Yeah.
We were linked with him for so fucking long. I signed him on FIFA. He had like a 60-goal season. I sold him for like 90 million to Barcelona. Like, I was so adamant we were going to sign him. I was so excited. And my mate was like, he's not going to go to a shit club. He's not going to go to a shit club. And then he went to Chelsea and he scored the goal that won him the title. And it's just like, because I was so adamant that he was the perfect backup striker for what we needed at the time.
You know who I remember? Maybe you don't remember him, but remember Leandro Damião? I mean, that wasn't really a striker. Oh no, basically, so under Redknapp, right? We always were linked with the striker because Redknapp kept saying he wanted a top striker. Bear in mind, this was even still when we had Adebayo on loan that season. So we were after we signed Sandro, he had a teammate. I think it was his teammate. Was Damião his teammate? Maybe it was his teammate called Leandro Damião. Every weekend or whatever, every day, I'd open news now. Spurs are looking at Leandro Damião. Spurs to bid this one. Spurs. I used to watch comps of this guy. Older people might recognize it if you're watching this. What we're talking about. And every summer we'd be linked with Leandro Damião. And now we never actually made a bid, I don't think. Or when we did bid, it was like so low. Like they wanted because he was a Brazilian striker playing in Brazil.
Yeah.
And so obviously Spurs, I assume, didn't want to pay like big money for him. And that was part of the problem. But we were linked with him every summer, literally. I'd open news now every January. Oh, Spurs to make a move for Leandro Damião. Spurs to make another attempt to sign Leandro Damião. I'm like, and then I ended up seeing him one day, but actually like play on TV because I was like, he played in like the Olympics or something. And I was like, what was the big deal with this guy? Like, he looked all right. He wasn't that great.
I'm trying to think if there was anyone else. I don't think there's any major other ones that we can think of. But if you think of any, chuck in the comments. That'd be great. On to a bit more like real world football stuff. Last week, you guys remember, we spoke about wanting 3 outgoings within the next 2 weeks. That would suggest that we're going to bring in some incomings. Good news so far. Højbjerg's now gone. Literally less than a week after we made the podcast. Brian Hill's in intense talks to go to Girona. They've got Champions League football. They've just lost a winger, so I think that's probably going to happen.
Basically, I think.
Yeah, I'd suggest that's going to be done. Reguilon's been told to fuck off. You're not going on the plane. So I'd imagine that it won't be long before he's gone. And Lo Celso hasn't come back from international duty or the recovery period after international duty yet. But there is a very, very high chance that he will be told not to join the group as well. And talks between Spurs and Aston Villa for a Jacob Ramsey-Lo Celso swap deal. I think there is really some meat to that, based on what some people are saying.
Actually, you'll be surprised. I've seen Jacob Ramsey play. I actually think it would be a good signing for us.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good off the left. I think it'd be good in the centre. And actually, me and my quickly before I move on to what I was going to say. So I think personally, really, we're looking in a stronger position. I know it doesn't include Emerson and it doesn't include Richarlison. But again, I think it's 6-1 after the other for if they go, personally. on both of them. Richarlison more so than Emerson. But again, DiMarzio tweeted earlier saying that Emerson
Emerson's
to
close
AC
to
Milan
going,
is
isn't he?
picking up again now. So again, if we're sat here in a week's time saying Lo Celso's gone, Brian Hill's gone, obviously Højbjerg's gone now confirmed, and Emerson's gone, then that's exactly what we wanted. So honestly, and we said this to everyone last week, and I had one or two people messaging me saying, "Oh, you don't know what Tottenham are like. We'll get to the end of the window, still players until we here." We all said that it would heat up, and we all said that it would. We said this that it would change very quickly with Tottenham, and in 2 weeks' time we could be sat here in a complete different situation. And already we've seen a player in less than 24 hours be announced to possibly go in, to Spurs confirming the media post to see him in the new shirt. Like literally less than 24 hours for Højbjerg. So I wouldn't be surprised if these other players are.
I think Hill will be done before you know it. I think it'll be done before.
Yeah, I think Hill will be done before next week. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't.
Because there's too much. He wants to go back to Spain. There's too much in it for him not to.
Yeah, Girona got Champions League football as well, so it's attractive for him. They're in the City group, so they've got money.
I think it will start now.
Yeah, I think he will, yeah. So I really do think that deal will go through. And with Emerson heating up as well, I think they're the main ones. Reguilon's not going to be part of the squad no matter what he does next season.
I know I think they're going to use Reguilon. This is my hot take. And they'll try and use him as a make weight in the Tony deal.
Maybe, because he did enjoy his time at Brentford, didn't he? Even if it only knocks 3 or 4 million off, it's still 3 or 4 million for a player that we don't want anyway.
They'll try and value him at like 20 or something. And they'll have to
something interesting, right? So I was talking to my stepdad about this earlier, and we were going through Spurs' squad depth, right? Hear me out for a second. So Vicario, Forster, Destiny, and let's say a new left wing back, Van der Ven, Davies, Dragusin, Romero Dragusin, Porro, Spence, holding midfielder, let's say,
of course.
No, but I'm going how I see the squad looking for the start of the season. Gray, another, let's say Basuma for now, Sarr, Bentancur, Madison, Bergville, Son, Werner, Richarlison, blank space, and Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson. Realistically, if you bring in a left back, a striker, and a winger who can play everywhere, that squad depth is really, really good going into the new season. And we would have cleared out the majority. If Reguilon goes, Emerson goes, Brian Hill goes, and who's the other one?
Emerson, Brian Hill, Reguilon,
and Lo Celso. If they all go, and we get in, let's say we bring in Tony, a good quality left back,
and Eze.
I don't think we're going to get Eze, to be fair. Let's say we bring in Tony, Neto, a good quality left back, and Jacob Ramsey in a swap deal.
I don't know how true that is, though.
I don't know. And Jacob Ramsey in a swap deal. I would say that is probably a really strong window for Spurs. We'd have cleared out all the dead woods. We'd have brought in key players in every position that we needed. We'll have 2 players per position per role. Obviously, you've got extras like, obviously, if Davies goes, Ashley Phillips will step up. If any of the other wingers go, then you've got players that can step in from the young players. And you've got the young players padded in the rest of that squad as well. That's a really, really squad. Compare it to where that squad was 2 years ago. That's a massive improvement.
I think
I don't think it's good enough to win the title, but it's a massive improvement.
I think it's a much younger squad because obviously we've still got, you named like 3 or 4 18-year-olds, right? Didn't you? So like Gray, Bergwall. But I think with them, I think Gray and will 100% play because he played.
I think Bergwall will 100% play. The way he played in that QPR game was unbelievable.
But I think it's hard to count them because I just don't know if you can 100% count on them. I think we're going to need to add a few extras there. And in terms of like where we're going to finish, I still maintain we're going to finish 4th next season because it's Tottenham. So whether that people see it success or not, I mean, I'm not going to say.
I still think we'll finish 8th and win the Europa League, but we'll do our actual proper season prediction when the transfer window is closed.
Because these, obviously, like you, others are excited about the youngsters. I think he'll play a lot of them, and I think the mistake Andrew will make is play too many of them at once, and I think it might cost us in the cups.
I think it'll cost him in a cup. I don't think he'll make the mistake more than once if he does make it, but I'm not convinced he'll make it.
And also, I think early Europa League games, obviously, if we get easy opponents, I think he'll play a lot of them as well.
Yeah. But then I think that is a good opportunity to play them because it gives them the experience. I think it allows us to rest the main players. If we go into, obviously there's now is it 10 Europa League games, I believe.
Yeah, we play for 10. You're right. It's 10,
yeah. So I believe that after game 6, if we're 1-6 out of 6, then he'll play the young players for those extra games, and I think that will allow us the extra quality. I would prefer them to be played for the home games because I think that'll ease the pressure on them a little bit. But I definitely think there is an opportunity.
My problem is that I don't want him to chuck them all at once. I want him to play mixed teams. If he's going to play them, I'm saying, for example,
he won't play a full youth 11. I really can't see it.
What I'm saying is, so for example, if you want to bed someone like Mikey Moore, I'm just using him as an example, by the way. I know you didn't even mention him. I would put, because I think he plays on the left or right, doesn't he? So, for example, I'd put a front three of like Son, Kulusevski, and Moore, right? Start that, because at least around him we'll have some like first team players to play with, and in the midfield you play Maddison with Basuma or Bassar and someone else. So at least it's kind of mixed. It's not going to be just.
It's not going to be. I think he will. But if I was to say to you, right, we bring in, we're linked with the least left back from Serie A, which the last Serie A left back we signed was insane. Let's say we bring in a good quality left back, and Jacob Ramsey swapped in for Lo Celso, Neto, Tony, and that what I've just said there is the squad we've got. Well, how would you rate that as a transfer window?
Like 6 or 7, probably. Because for me, it's like...
Okay, yeah, I suppose, because there's a lot of unknowns in there. You've got to really wait to the end of the season to
if we were say you tell me, we're signing players like Kvaratskhelia, like Isak, and other players of that type, I'd be like 10, 9
I'd say if it was Eze instead of Neto and everybody else the same, it'd be a 10 out of 10 window.
Oh, no, there's not. I don't think there's ever really like a 10 out of 10 window, to be honest.
Yeah, but you'll never be happy, man. Like,
no, because we keep signing youngsters.
Yeah, but he wants to build a young team because they've got legs to run rather than fucking casts of jellyfish like fucking.
No, I'm not saying to sign like 30-year-olds. I'm just saying I see more.
We are pension FC. No,
but I mean, as in, for example, someone like Gray.
Harry wants to make us into a retirement.
I think he'll play.
What's Llorente these days?
I think he'll play, but again, he's unknown. Is he going to step up from the Championship? I don't know.
Yeah. I think he will. I think Gray. I'm going to put my money on it now. I think by the end of the season, Gray and Bergville, you'll be sitting there saying, like, Leeds, Malmo, or wherever you sign Bergville from, can we pay you more? I think that'll be what you'll be saying at the end of the season.
I don't know. From what I saw, Gray, I wasn't like.
He's pre-season, man. Get over yourself.
No, I didn't see him pre-season. I saw him for Leeds last season.
Oh. Yes, Daniel.
Get over yourself. Games, but apparently he's played really well.
That's what I thought you were playing under bracing.
No, because I saw him play for Leeds quite a bit last season, just on-off game. Because we were linked with him, remember? And also,
I literally saw no links until the season finished. I can't lie.
But anyway, so I watched him in the playoff final as well. I thought he was all right. I don't know, but he's only 18. So the thing is, you just don't know.
You literally watched him in one of Leeds' worst games of the season and went, I think he's crap. That sums up Harry's scouting knowledge, guys.
What is the most important game for him in his whole career? Probably that game.
Now it's the Spurs, so he'll have an FA Cup final, hopefully, and the Europa League final next season.
We're praying against him a cup final. We haven't got past semi-finals.
Yeah. I think that's kind of it, really, on the transfer window.
I just want to touch on Højbjerg's time at Spurs very quickly.
Go for it.
I just want to say, when we signed him, I actually think it was a very good signing. And I actually think there will be parts of Højbjerg we'll actually miss. I know it sounds controversial me saying this, but even though he wasn't the best in terms of like quality-wise, in terms of, he's not technically the best player, he was one of the few leaders we had left. And even though, like I said, he's not the best player, but also he had a very good relationship and chemistry with Bentancur during that time period as well. So for me, it's just down to, are we going to just put Gray there because a lot of people are speculating Gray's going to play at DM? Or are we going to go out and sign like an Edison from Atalanta? Like, I don't know.
So I would say on Højbjerg's time, 3 million and Walker Peters. Obviously, we've made a profit on him, which is great for the money man.
Mr. Levy, yeah.
Yeah. I would say for that style of football, Jose and Conte's style of football, I think he was spot on.
It was
exactly what
perfect.
he needed. He was an old school defensive midfielder, got stuck in, I think he was a leader. I think he was a warrior. He scored some important goals for Spurs. He gave everything 95% of the time he put the shirt on. And from that aspect, he'll be missed. However, we sat for ages and ages and ages and discussed how the guy couldn't play a 2-yard pass for the first 2 years of his Spurs career. And any forward long pass you asked him to play, he couldn't do it. You asked him to drive forward with the ball, he couldn't do it. And that part, knowing how Ange wants to play, I won't miss.
No, he doesn't.
I won't
fit the way
miss
he wants
that
to play.
frustration of bringing a player on to play a way we know he can't play, just because we haven't done enough in the window to swap the squad around a little bit. I think the fee, I think people have got complaints, people go fuck themselves. I think the fee is good for a player last year in a contract. Given the fact the French league still has no television rights for the new season that's 4 weeks away. And it's only the clubs in the Champions League that have got money.
He is joining De Zerbi, though, to be fair.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying, so PSG, Monaco, like the clubs in the Champions League and the French league are the only clubs with money this year. Everybody else is fucked because Ligue 1 haven't agreed a new TV license deal. So the fact that we managed to get in a small market to sell a player for about what the going rate is for a player in those categories, I think is a really good deal. And I am gutted, like I say, about the character that's gone, but I'm not gutted about the player that's gone. If that makes sense.
Yeah, he didn't fit the system, obviously, because Ange wanted him to do too much, I'd argue, with his skill set.
Yeah.
He can only do so much. He's more the player just breaks up play and passes it to like a Modric or something, or a player like that. And
he doesn't pass it to Modric for us or for Monaco. So
yeah, I know, but you know what I'm trying to say, right?
He'll
just break up
I know what you mean. I'm being
but to me, it speaks volumes, though, because if someone like De Zerbi signed him, it says a lot, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, but De Zerbi also signed a rapist, so let's not go there, shall we? But yeah, I think. What do you make of the fee? Because I've seen so many people on Twitter. I personally, I'm thinking the fee's good.
Well, I don't
Works
really
out
look at
about
fees.
16.5, 17 million. I think it's a really good sale, personally. I was expecting him to go for £10 million. So we've got another third of that. So for me, I'm quite happy with the fee personally. I've seen a lot of people disgruntled about it. Oh, Spurs valued him at 40 million last year. Yes, that's because we had 2 years, 18 months to sell him. Now we have 6 months to sell him. In fact, no, now we have now to sell him. So,
he had to go this window. He had to go.
Yeah, he had to go this window. Yeah. We couldn't let him go on a free. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy he's happy with the move. And I'm glad it's happened quickly as well.
I'm saying I'm not bitter about his time at Spurs. I think he did all right, in my opinion. So
yeah, I'd agree with that. What would you rate his time at Spurs? Out of 10, what would you give it?
8?
I'll give it a 7. Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah, 7, 8. Yeah, that's fair enough. Especially
even last season, I know he didn't have the best of games all the time, but he was in and out of the team. And when he played, I thought he did all right. I'm not expecting him to be like the best player on the pitch.
Harry's great, right? Because apart from a small percentage of players, when they've gone, he'll give them all the plaudits in the world. But when they're here, he'll rip them apart like you wouldn't believe. It's great.
I'm not saying Brian Hill's the best player ever now because he's gone to Jerome.
He's about to compare him to Messi next week.
Jill Messi.
I'm trying to think.
We did transfers. We did.
Yeah, we've done the transfer sagas. We've done the Højbjerg stuff and the current situation with the squad and how that's looking and whatever. I don't really feel like there's a lot to talk about. We're going to bring back. I haven't told Harry this, so spoiler alert. We're going to bring back Guess Who maybe next week or the week after, and we're going to do it with a guest. And what the plan of action will be is everybody will have a certain amount of guesses. Well, this is my plan. Harry might disagree with me, but it's going on YouTube now anyway, so it's tough shit. Everyone will have a certain amount of guesses. They can ask on their go. They can ask a different person. Whoever's player you guess first, you'll get a point. But whether we stick it Spurs, whether we stick it completely random, me and Harry will discuss that at the end of the podcast. I think this week's quite a short one, actually, to be fair.
Yeah,
I really feel like
the problem is
we're kind of waiting for the season to start.
I haven't really seen any of the friendlies. I can't really comment on that. But yeah.
I'm going to have a look and see.
I know we spoke about that. I was going to say the players that travelled and players that didn't. We already touched on that already.
Yeah, we touched on that.
Very quickly, what do you think about Jez Spence? Do you think he's going to stay or go?
So I actually tweeted, right, let me find my tweet. Hold on. I'm glad you said this because I haven't seen the poll. Where is it? I tweet loads of random shit. Where is the poll? Why the fuck can't I find it? Here it is. So, actually, I tweeted on the 20th, which was 3 days ago, saying, what camp is everyone in on Spence, keep or sell? 21 votes, 86% of people said keep, 14% said sell. One of my mates replied saying he's 100 times the player Emerson is, to which I replied, I agree for the way we play, and I think the homegrown aspect helps. He seems to be giving it a go in pre-season. He's getting involved with the other lads as well. I'm leaning towards keeping, but will his attitude plummet again if he isn't playing week in, week out? His response was, being in 4 competitions, I think he'll play quite a lot. Pedro looked absolutely knackered the back end of last season, which I agree with, having played so much, and I think he'll have a consistent rotation with lots of opportunities for him to play. Would you disagree with that assessment?
No, but because the reason I brought up Spence as well is because we were talking about it on the podcast I was on before I came as well. So, I thought we'd talk about it brief. I think with Spence, I think he's been giving us a slight, like, basically, I thought the door was closed before preseason, and I think initially, I think they played him in because they were looking for him to put him in the shop window, but because he's done so well now.
His attitude's been in the right place. I mean, Paul Oakey tweeted yesterday or the day before saying the club, the coaching staff, and Andrew have been really impressed, and it feels like a different player.
Yes, I'm saying so. I think because he's done as well in these 2 or 3 friendlies we played in now, they've taken him on tour, and I think they basically. I'm saying the door was closed. I would say last season. I thought at the end of last season, but now I think there's a little creak, and he's slowly.
But right, let me ask you this question though, because he went on loan at the beginning of last season, didn't he? Do you think last season his problems were as a result of he's been signed by Conte, who plays a back 3 system, to play at wing back, and he's come in and Conte, whether he first saw, whether it was a club signing, I don't give a shit. It was last year, but he's come back from that season, kind of feeling a bit aggrieved. He's come in and just taken one look and gone, mate, you haven't even given me a chance to look at you yet. Well, I don't want you anywhere near because your attitude stinks. Go off, fuck off, sort your attitude out, play some football, and then I'll see you when you come back. And because Spencer's had the time out of the limelight, he's had the time away from the club, it's made him kind of appreciate what he has the opportunity to do at Tottenham. And he's come back in, and it doesn't look like he's had any conversations with Ange. He probably has. But given the fact that Ange selected him to go on pre-season, we look at Brian Hill and we look at
Reguilon.
That's the one. Reguilon. and they have been completely disregarded. You are not going. Makes me think that he is going to keep him as a backup. And I think he will be better suited to our style of play. The nutmeg against QPR. Have you seen the clip?
Yeah.
But for me, unreal. And I think that flair and that confidence is what the team had last year. Spence is going to bring that, and he's going to bring consistency, and he's going to bring quality. My only concern, even if he's playing, because he will play a lot more in the Europa League, I would say, than in the league, right? If he's going to play European games, and he might get 15 games throughout the course of the season, depending on who we come up against, and then maybe 3 or 4 cup games, is he going to be happy with, let's call it 15 games just for argument's sake, is he going to be happy with 15 games over a total season?
I think
is he going to be okay with that?
I think he'll play more. I think he'll play more.
Okay, but let's say he
because
just plays.
Because you've always moved Porro at right wing and put him on the right.
Yeah, but then we're putting a square peg in a round hole for the sake of.
I'd rather see Porro on the right instead of Johnson.
I disagree, but I'm not going to say I'm too tired.
That's what I would do. That's the thing. But if you saw how many not injuries we had, but obviously Dogi had this injury at the end of the season. But clearly the wing backs or inverted fullbacks use a lot of energy. So we're going to need him to also come on. I think late in games. Plus, there'll be games where we play a harder Europa League game, for example, in the midweek.
Where Porro will play, and then we're playing Ipswich or something. No disrespect, Ipswich in the league.
So I think he'll play.
Okay, but let me ask you this question. let's say he just plays 15 games at the whole, not including games he comes off the bench. He just starts 15 games next season. Are you not a little bit concerned, given his attitude at the time he's been in the club, that there is going to be a real cause for concern that if he doesn't get what he wants and he goes in demanding it, we're going to end up with a player frozen out through attitude problems halfway through a season? Does that not concern you at all?
But then how would he know how many games he's going to play from now?
Okay, let's say we get up to Christmas then. And
I think that's more like happening at the end of the
games.
season, to be honest, than rather than in the Christmas.
No, but let's say we get to the Christmas
I think
period.
you'll play a lot more Christmas time as well, because obviously there's, as you know, there's loads of games at Christmas time. I think you'll play.
Okay, let's say we get to the 1st of January and he's only made 5 appearances and he comes out going, and someone goes, "This is your 5th appearance under Ange Postecoglou. How do you feel about this?" And he goes, he's not going to say he's a prick, but he's just called him a cunt, Harry. Come on.
I doubt we play that. It's
fine. No, but if he turns around and goes, "Well, I'm not happy with the situation. I'm going to have a chat with my agent, have a chat with the manager. We're going to reassess it in January." Do you not think that just causes so much disruptions in the squad? And I'm so concerned, like what they see in training and what personality side of him. And I saw videos of him and Sarah and Basuma fucking around with the ball the other day, and he seemed to be a lot more involved than he has done previously.
Yeah.
But there is that slight concern for me that has that loan move really made him a more humble person? Has Ange warned him? Has Ange given him a conversation? Has Levy had a conversation with him?
You know what?
I can't see someone having an epiphany. I say overnight, but he's 6 months. I can't see a player having an epiphany like that. I really can't.
You say that, but it can happen. But what I'm saying is, what I think happened is he came to the club. Levy probably told him,
"You're starting.
Not you're starting. You'll get games, blah blah." And what happened was, it got to that press conference. He met Conte. Conte must have said something to him. I don't know what. Yeah. And then he went to the press conference and said, "Spencer's a club signing." So obviously Spencer sees the press conference because it's public, right? And he thinks, "Oh, this guy doesn't like me. He doesn't want me." And then he gets into a strop or whatever, because he's young as well, right? And then obviously, as a consequence, Conte loans him out because he doesn't want him, right? So he went. And then obviously he's got a bit of resentment for the club in some respects, which is kind of
that resentment has shown in Ange's first interaction with him. So Ange's done the same thing, and fuck off and go on loan. And then halfway through the loan, when he's playing well, Ange's gone, "Do you know what? If you keep playing like this and you come back with the right mindset, I'm going to give you a chance to prove yourself."
I'm going to compare him to Udogie now, because Udogie was not the same situation, but a similar situation. So he was loaned back, remember, for a year. And don't forget, he left on the illusion, I assume, that he was going to play under Conte. He came back from his loan. He's played
a complete different role that he was expected to be asked, but still given absolutely everything.
The difference is his attitude was obviously a lot better, and he was like, "I'm going to just get on with it."
And, but Udogie's attitude, I'd say, has always been like that, whereas Spencer's, once you've seen
the way it happened with Spencer, for example, if Conte came out and said, because I'd expect the same response, I think, from Udogie, this didn't happen, obviously, came out and said, "Udogie's not my signing, it's a club signing." I think for me, the reason I'm comparing is they're quite similar ages. They're quite similar sorts of players.
But would you not, okay, let me ask you this though. Do you not think Udogie, if he was put in that same situation, would just put his head down and try and prove that he could be a manager signing? Whereas Spence didn't do that. He threw his teddies out the pram and then fucked off on loan. And it's that mindset of, rather than, because bearing in mind, right, we only signed Pedro Porro.
I actually understand his reaction. I'm sorry, I understand his reaction.
No, I do get it, but I'm just saying from a fan's point of view.
Right? Isn't he? He's 2021.
Yeah, he's ridiculously young. But my concern, from a fan's point of view, my concern is this. And we've had bad eggs in the dressing room before, and we know the impact it has, and we've seen it at other clubs as well. But I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it because I'll get cancelled. My real concern, my real concern is that he comes back to the club and he gets what he wants, but he doesn't get it quick enough. And January rolls around. We're coming into the business end of the season. We're still in 3 competitions, and optimistically, and we need him for rotation. But his body language and attitude when he plays doesn't react to what he promised the manager at the start of the season that he would give, and what he's clearly shown us that he can give if his mindset's in the right place. We get to the business end of the season, we have injuries, we can't rely on him, and it results in us falling apart because a player we've relied to be a backup hasn't given the attitude and the work rate and the desire that he set out to give at the start of the season. And this is why I think Emerson's gone on that plane as opposed to being held back.
Emerson's
And why,
going, though.
but this is why I think Ange is not bothered about the club holding out for a fee, because if Emerson doesn't get sold, Ange knows that whatever he could ask Emerson to play up front and he would give his absolute 100% best every minute he's on the pitch to play in that position. No matter how badly he would play, he would give absolutely everything. Yeah. He would give absolutely everything to play that way, right? I feel like Ange would rather have a player who doesn't fit the system but gives 100% for the shirt over a player who gives the system but plays the system and can play the system in the role he wants but doesn't give a shit. Obviously, in an ideal world, you'd have both, which is what Spence could be. I'm just not sure. There is a little bit of doubt in my mind, and I really hope he proves me wrong. One, because it pissed off my dad, and two, because he has got so much attacking quality and so much flair and so much energy and speed and athleticism about him. He really, really could be an outstanding player. And we saw it in the glimpses against QPR. Him taking the ball through players' legs, him running up players, just blistering players, bolting up players. I really think he could become a top player at Tottenham. But is he willing to work from it almost from the beginning, almost like he's a youth player in the academy again, being given a shot, having to prove himself? Is he willing to do that? I'm not convinced.
But I'm different opinion. I think his mindset's changed. I don't know why. I think his mindset, because what I'm trying to explain to you is that he had the resentment, right? But that's why obviously he got loaned back out again. I assume by his behaviour, the fact he's on the plane, he had some sort of self-reflection, and maybe he spoke to his agent. I don't know, and I think he's come back and he said, "I'm gonna give another shot," sort of thing.
So you think he's had an epiphany while he's on loan? Probably a little bit of a chat with Ange.
And he probably thought, because obviously it's not Ange's fault. Ange wasn't the manager who came out and said, "I didn't want you," basically. Yeah, true. Right? Bear in mind. But I think because he had that resentment from before,
he's almost gone, actually, I need to put that anger where it belongs, which is Conte and Levy for false promises, not for Ange, because Ange had nothing to do with it. Let me give the manager a second chance. As opposed to the club. Right, okay,
that's what I think, anyway. But I might be wrong. I mean, he might be sold tomorrow for all I know. But I just think...
Could you imagine?
The fact he's gone on tour...
Yeah, that's a massive key point for me, because we said this at the back of the last season when we were going through our list of players that we wanted to sell. When we did do you remember we did the keep, loan, sell? And we had Spence I said loan him and see what he does, and you were absolutely adamant, sell him. He's not going to come back with the right mindset. He's fucked the club off completely. He's been a bit disrespectful in the way he's conducted himself. It remains to be seen. I think this is one of those that we're going to either look back in 6 months' time.
I think I'm going to say I told you so. That sounds weird. I think it's a trial period for both of them, for Ange with Spence and Spence with Ange.
Ange to see whether he can trust Spence and he can give the right mindset. Yeah. Spence to trust what Ange promises him. If Spence delivers what he's saying. No. I get what you're saying, because Ange's needs to be convinced that Spence has the right attitude and mindset, and he's willing to give everything and die for the club, just like the other players that we put on the shirt. And Spence needs to believe that Ange is going to give him the game time he promises him, providing the training and the behaviour and the attitude meets the level that... Because if Ange sits there and says, right, this is the most football manager thing I'm going to say, but if Ange sits there and says, like I do in football manager sometimes, if you hit like a 7.9 match rating in training and your attitude's right and your work rate's right, you're going to play as a squad rotational player, and then I never play him the entire season, then I'm the one in the wrong, right? Because I promised him something. He's done his part, but I haven't delivered on my end. If I turn around to him and go, you need to be dropping 7.0 ratings in training, I want you to be dropping 6.5 ratings in games that you play, and I want you to have the attitude and mindset in the right place. And 3 weeks in a row you miss training, he kicks up a fuss in the media because I fined him because he's missed training. He drops a 5.0 rating in a game. I play him because my right back's injured. He scores an own goal, drops an absolute stinker, doesn't give a shit, strolling around the pitch. Then I'm the one. Then he's the one at fault, because he hasn't reflected what I've requested to give him that opportunity in the first place.
At least I hope he doesn't do this. I hope I hope doesn't sell him the fact you're going to use the term everyone likes to use, a squad option or a backup option. I think he'll probably
He'll tell him he's a rotation option. He'll tell him you're a fitness-based rotation option.
You'll get minutes. They'll tell him you get minutes, and if you do really well, you get even more. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. What I'm saying is you can't guarantee sit there and say you're going to play 15 games because
it won't be that. But I think Spence will go to Ange and go, look, I'm hoping for like 15 starts this season. What can you offer me? And if Ange goes, as long as you don't make any mistakes, as long as you buy into the way we're playing, as long as your attitude, behaviour, and your writing training, I'll give you that. As long as we stay in the level of competition that we're in now.
I know I'm going to relate to Bale. This sounds crazy, but Bale was on his way out of Spurs, right, until Cotta got injured. Right? And everyone thought Bale was gone. He's going to Birmingham. Like the deal was almost done. And then we had the injury, so Bale had to play at left back. And what I'm saying is he had a massive that made his career, obviously, in the end. As in but
that's when he played left mid in a 4-1-4-1. We played the complete. If we were playing 4-4-2, then Porro at right mid, Spencer right back. I'd agree with you 100%. But the system we play, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I think maybe if we're going for a game and you have to put two attackers in the middle, like let's say you've got Son on the left, Brennan Johnson on the right, and Richarlison in the middle, and you're going for a game, so you move Johnson into the middle alongside Richarlison and then move Porro further up, take off a midfielder and put on Spence, then I get that theory. But to start a game with Pedro Porro right back, what crack have you been smoking?
Right wing. Right wing.
That's what
I'd rather see him at right wing than Johnson. So I mean,
I don't get what you're right. We're going on a rant now.
Porro's our best on the whole team. Literally.
Right, yeah, I don't disagree with that, but we were saying with 34 minutes ago, this would be a short podcast, and you're about to send me a 20-minute run. Right. I don't understand. We said at the back of the last season, you gave me your word that we were going to give Brennan Johnson, you were going to give Brennan Johnson an opportunity. He got one of the highest goal contributions in the league last year. Right, he was up there like fourth or fifth for the highest goal contribution in the league last year. He's only 22 years old. He's got the pace. We said so many times he was making the runs to the back post. He was in the right position. He just couldn't compose himself to finish. Right. How can you be sitting there and calling him out already when the season's not even started yet? He's had a solid preseason so far. He's drifted into space. He scored those tap-ins that previously he was hitting over the bar. I don't understand what your agenda is.
But the whole point is, the problem is you see the game as like 11 players and like the rest of the squad, rather than saying the fact we're in 4 competitions. We are in 4 competitions. Anyone's spot should be up for grabs. So when I say
I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just saying that we've got Kulusevski and Brennan Johnson as rotation options, but you're writing Brennan Johnson off as a starter already, and the season hasn't even started yet. Yeah, I think he did enough last season to prove that there is a player there.
I didn't say Spencer's going to start. I didn't say Spencer's going to play from the off. I'm saying you can't sell him. You can't sit the player down and tell him and say, look, you're going to play 10 games. You're going to play 15 games. Because you have to sell him a dream. I know it sounds really weird. And say, look, if you work your Baker's team, there can be a place for you, right?
Have you ever played Football Manager before?
No.
Right. In my experience, when you sell a player a dream and you don't deliver, it causes nothing but dressing room problems, atmosphere decline, and eventually inevitable sack.
Not that sort of dream about X number of games.
I'm not saying Spencer's going to get Ange sacked. Don't fucking end this clip up some dodgy corner of Spurs Twitter. I'm not saying Spencer's going to get Ange sacked, but what I'm saying is if you overpromise and underdeliver, and the player meets their end of the bargain, you're going to have big problems because you're only ever going to be known as a manager who makes false promises to players, to young players, and they don't deliver. And then we start losing the likes of Mickey Moore and Will Lancashire and whoever else because they're coming in, being promised some game time, and they're hearing from other players and just never delivering. No matter how good you play, you come in, score a hat-trick, you'll be dropped the next game.
He still picks Johnson when he misses 2 sitters.
But both Kulusevski and Brennan Johnson were both inconsistent and out of form last year, as was our entire attack. Because they weren't used to having chances, put on a fucking play for them, which is fucking stupid.
I would argue he was best in the middle under Ange.
I don't disagree with you, but there were times where he was also more effective out of the wings. Nottingham Forest away, for example, cut in, ball to the back post, scored a goal.
With the Richarlison header,
yeah, we won the game as a result of it. And I think I just hate the fact that you're expecting Brennan Johnson to fail already. I'm going to make an unpopular opinion here. I'm going to make the most controversial opinion you've ever heard in your entire life. I think if he doesn't get injured, and if we don't sign a marquee striker, apart from Heung-min Son, because I still think he'll have a good season, even though he's been crap in pre-season, Brennan Johnson will have the most goal contributions of any Spurs player next season.
I don't know, because how many did he have last season? I don't remember.
I believe it was 22.
Oh.
Which is why I think you're a bit of a hater.
It's just his quality of the goals and quality of the assists aren't exactly like great.
Yeah, right. Sorry, if I score 30 tap-ins, does that make me crap?
It just means you can hit it from like 2 yards. Does that mean you're a good player?
It's better hitting it from 2 yards than not hitting it at all, no?
No, what? You don't understand what I'm trying to say.
Last season, he got 15 goal contributions in just the league alone from 26 games. There's only 11 games that he didn't score or assist in out of 26. He played 2,330 minutes.
His goals and assists, like Kulusevski and even Richarlison, were all against the bottom 10.
Right, let me pose another point to you.
Bottom 10.
Let me pose another point. I love how this is going a complete tangent now. Let me pose another point to you though. From 53 shots, he scored 5 goals. Guess what? He had a 66% shooting accuracy. Guess what? Bearing in mind he scored 5 league goals. Guess what his expected goals was just in the Premier League? Guess what his expected goals?
I don't know. But I just know he missed the most big chances.
Right, let me finish. Can't cut my argument off halfway through. His expected goals was 10.6. Let me ask you this question. If in 26 games he had 10 goals and 10 assists, would you have the same energy?
Sorry?
If in 26 games he had 10 goals and 10 assists, would you have the same energy you have right now?
What do you mean, what energy?
Like, as in, like, the negative, like, playing him down, whatever. Let me ask you this question. If he had 20 goal contributions, 20 goals and 10 goals and 10 assists in 26 games, would you be sitting there doubting him, or would you be confident he's just going to keep going and going and going and building upon?
The quality of his goals weren't that great. I mean,
but it doesn't matter where you. Right, so let's go through. Right, okay, let's go through Harry Kane's goal contribution. And any goal from the penalty spot, because that's easy, anyone can do that. Any goal that was a tap in, any goal that was like a headed cross from the 6 yard box, we'll take all them off his goals.
But Kane also scored some incredible goals.
But we don't need players. Right, Harry, oh my God, right. You don't need players to score incredible goals in this system. You could score 1,000 tap-ins in a season, win every trophy.
Look at Foden at City. That's a top-class player.
Right, okay. But the difference is, there are times where City's squad relies on individual brilliance because of the way Pep plays. Like we did in the past with Son and Kane.
Aren't we?
No.
Yeah, we are. Even
we're not.
Pep. It's on your
that was a meme, you fucking donut.
It's on the background of your phone.
You fucking... It's not, to be fair. Phone case was crap. I don't know where it is. It's in the car.
But what I'm saying is, quality of the goals actually does matter because...
No, it doesn't. Right, let me ask you this question, right? Let's say
you're playing a scenario. You're playing a low block, right? They got 10 men behind the ball. How are you going to score a tap-in from that?
Because if you play with such intensity and such quality, these players will make a mistake. They can't concentrate to the level that they need to focus like that for 90 minutes. Okay, let me ask you this question. Let's say we win the Europa League, and every single game, all of our goals are scored from the penalty spot or closer to the goal. Have you got a problem with that?
Well, no, but we're not going to win
the Europa League. So
why are you taking a scenario?
No, but okay, all right then. Let's say we win the League Cup and every single goal is scored from the penalty spot or closer to the goal. They're all tap-ins or simple finishes.
Did we win every game from penalties then or something?
No, you fucking donut. You can score from in and around. Okay, every goal is scored from the inner part of between the edge of the 6 yard box and the half and the penalty spot. Between that gap, surrounding the inside of the box, every goal is scored from that position, and we win the League Cup, or we win the FA Cup, or we win the Europa League. Because every goal is pass, ball cuts across, tap in, goal, or balls put across 6 yard box, tap in, goal. Have you got a problem with that?
What do you mean? We won't win it though, playing that way.
No. But it's possible. So you have a problem with players not scoring high quality goals in your opinion.
I'll tell you why.
You don't have a problem with Spurs winning trophies.
When you play low block.
Hold on. But you don't have a problem with Spurs winning trophies, scoring low quality goals as long as
we won't win trophies scoring low quality goals though. There'll come a game, David. There'll come a game, David, where we're going to have to score a banger or something. And Johnson,
but you've still got set pieces in these goals. How many set pieces? All right, not so many at the start of the season, but towards the end of the season, towards the end of the season, we scored more though. So I just feel like you're expecting.
One thing is, there's a reason why teams like City win the title, because they have players that can score incredible goals. Like De Bruyne scores bangers. Because when you play in low blocks, right, you can't pass through them. I'm sorry, I don't agree with this.
You can. You fucking can. You can one-touch Tiki Patata through low blocks.
Then? Why did we lose at home to Wolves?
Because we didn't have the quality and we couldn't have the...
Johnson's still here, though. Johnson was part of that quality from last season.
Yeah, he's one for... Oh, my God, you fucking donut.
Cruz is still there. So our attack hasn't been improved at all, and they're all still here.
No, but what? Oh my God! Right.
No, because the attack's
when you go from playing, right. Let me explain this in football.
Your logic makes no sense.
No, it does. When you go from playing 10 men behind the ball, route one football, counter-attacking football, whatever, to high possession, high intensity, high chance creation football, you're not used to being in those positions, and you're not used to having to compose yourself at the back post, and you're not used to having to just tap it in from the 6-yard box, because that's not the way you play. Normally, you're so used to bowling it down the wing, cutting it across the box, scoring a tap in that sort of way on the counter-attack when there's no defenders there. We saw so many times last season of players getting to the back post, players getting to the front post, and missing simple chances. We also saw players in those same positions score goals. So tell me how players a year after, an extra year of playing that way, an extra year of training, an extra year of intensity, an extra year of fitness, an extra year of practice, will not find themselves at the back. Right, let me ask you this question. If we're playing in a Premier League game...
I don't think practicing an extra year is going to help Johnson not miss from like 5 yards. I think it's down to him.
I don't think it is. Let me ask you this question. Hold on. Let me ask you this question. We're playing for Spurs, right? I'm playing on the right wing, you're playing on the left wing. And I cross that ball to you, and it fizzes across the 6-yard box, and you're at the back post, and you miss it the first time because you weren't expecting it. And then you miss it the second time, you miss it the third time, you miss it the fourth time. And then the fifth time you hit the post.
That sounds like me.
And the sixth time the goalkeeper saves it. And then by the 7th or 8th or 9th time, you're consistently putting the ball in the net because you're always anticipating it. You know how to control the ball and how to score it from that position because you know what speed the ball's coming at, what pace it's coming at. Is the ball spinning? Has it taken a deflection? Like all these individual factors, you know what to expect, so you can anticipate it and you can move towards the ball rather than the ball moving towards you. Do you not think you would score more of those chances if I crossed the ball to you and you had a tap in at the back post in a game? Do you not think you would score more from the 10th chance to the 20th chance than you would from the first chance to the 10th chance? Yes or no?
No, I don't think it makes a difference.
It fucking does.
I know from experience. I play football every Wednesday.
5-a-side? That doesn't count.
I still miss from flipping 5 yards.
Yeah, because you're not a Premier League player. You're shit. Oh, God.
My argument is all of his goal contributions were against the bottom 10 clubs. He didn't do anything against the top 6.
I'm going to prove that you're wrong because that can't be right.
It's true. Same with Richarlison and Kulusevski. They didn't do anything against the top 6, as far as I read.
Well, he got an assist against Liverpool, so go fuck yourself. That's point 1.
Was that the own goal? It
doesn't matter. He got a goal against West Ham, and I know they're not a top 16, but they're a team we notoriously struggle against. He got a goal against Villa, who finished top 4, so go fuck yourself.
You know what I mean by the top 6, anyway. Villa weren't top 6 till
He got an assist against Man City away. What's your point to that?
What game? What is this?
It's telling me he got an assist.
Does it say the goal?
It was. Let me find it.
I know Kulusevski got a header in the City game, the 3-3.
I'm trying to find out who. Yeah, it was the 3-3.
Didn't Brian Hill play that game?
I don't know. I'm trying to find.
I think Brian Hill played that game actually.
He got the assist for the winner. For the equaliser against Man City, the Kulusevski goal. So you can shove that in your pipe and smoke it. Let me find out what else he got. See, yeah, that was it. But still, that's more than what you said he did. So actually, he got one against Villa, one against West Ham, one against Man City. Villa, first of all, had a really great season last season, were very difficult to break down. Man City won the league, so
Was that when we beat them 4-0 and they were like dead on their feet? I think it was that.
Shut up. Doesn't matter. He's still got a goal
contribution away at Villa.
And West Ham, who we really struggle against away.
I know,
you can't complain with that for a first season. I'm not right. Let me ask you a question. Are you expecting him
in the Premier League with Forest before he came to us? That's the difference.
Yes, but Forest are shit. Steve Cooper is shit. Who doesn't play attacking football? Please understand what I'm trying to say. Right, are you expecting Brennan Johnson to run down the wing, leave Mike on his arse and just put it into the far corner? Because if you are, you're about 10 years too late.
Yeah, right? Because that's what we need. But that's what we need.
We don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. Why do we need that? Right. Why do you need a player who can run the length of the pitch and score it into the far post when you've got a player when we're going to put the ball across the 6-yard box every single time and they can just score tapping after tapping?
You basically gave away our game plan to every Premier League manager. They can next season.
Hey Pep, mate, if you're watching this, do me a favour. Bank transfer me some money, for the tips. Yeah. That's one, bro. Do you know what I mean?
What I'm trying to say is, you basically told me the answer to the problem. We're too predictable. Which is why I'm saying we need variation of goals. We can't say score the same every goal every time.
But Kulusevski and Brennan Johnson don't play the same way.
They kind of do in this system, to be fair.
No, they don't. Brennan Johnson doesn't cut in playing on the right. Kulusevski does.
No, Johnson actually does cut in. From what I see, he does actually cut in. He doesn't really go on the outside that much. Even Werner cuts in on his side, which is very good.
Werner cuts in onto his strong foot. Werner's right foot.
Yeah, but Johnson cuts in as well. I think that's been an issue in our attack. When you players that either play very wide.
Are we going back to this again?
Very wide.
I remember this from last season. Right. All I'm saying,
until we improve our attack, I'm not expecting any improvement from last season. I said we might get fourth because I don't think Villa will repeat what they did last season because they'll have Champions League as well to contend with.
But then do you not think United and Chelsea will finish
when we
higher?
first made it and we finished fifth, I remember.
Do you not think United and Chelsea will finish higher?
I don't think Chelsea will because I don't think Chelsea.
No, I don't think they will. Chelsea is shit. I think United might.
I think United might have a shot, but I think the top three will still be the same.
Right. Do you know what, Harry? I'm going to wager you. Right. Providing he stays fit, which would instantly rule it out, and I'm not even going to say if we sign another attacker. I'm just going to say providing he stays fit. I would say if Brennan Johnson makes more than 30 starts or more in the Premier League, he will have 20 goal contributions, goals and assists combined in 30 games. Wager you 50 quid at the end of the season.
He had 22 from last season, you said.
He had 15 from last season.
Yeah.
15 and 26.
I'm talking like 30.
How do you know how many fucking players get 30 goal contributions? Are you nuts? Right. Oh my God, you're such a donut. Right.
No, because you said he's a top class player.
I know. No, I just said he's better than you give him credit for. Right.
No, but if we're expected to win the title or do something, we need him to get like 30 goal contributions in reality.
Two seconds. Right. Do you want a list of players that have had 30 goal contributions in the Premier League? The first one is Thierry Henry. So how long ago was that? Alan Shearer, Andy Cole, Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Kane, Luis Suarez, Robin van Persie, Mohamed Salah, Erling Haaland, Frank Lampard, Harry Kane. Again. How many of those players aren't world class?
I didn't say they were not world class. I got 30.
Right, okay. So you think Brennan Johnson's not world class, but you're expecting him to get world class goal contributions?
I'm saying you're 20.
Make your mind up.
It's the same as he got last season. So how's that an improvement?
No, it's not. It's 5 more, and it's also means that he's
scoring the chance. Last season, right?
No, I said he made 26 appearances, got 5 goals, 10 assists, and he had an expected goals of 10.6. So he should have scored 5 more. So I said if he got 20 in total, would you be complaining about that?
I said he got 20 last season. I was like,
no, what? I said if he got 20 last season, would you be complaining? To which you said yes, because the quality goals is shit. I just think a goal's a goal. It doesn't really matter. Do you think Real Madrid care if they score from 30 yards or if they score a tap-in? Winners win trophies because they put the ball in the back of the fucking net and keep it out of their own. That's the most bear in mind,
you do realise Johnson missed the most big chances last season.
Okay, so is confidence and form not going to improve that?
Well, you'd hope, but
Well, clearly not in your opinion.
I just don't think he will. I just don't think he has it in him.
I'm calling it now. £50 wager. He will have 20 goal contributions in 30 games if he's played 30 starts next season. Stays fit.
So 5 more than last season.
5 more than last season.
Is that 10 goals and 10 assists?
10 goals, 10
or
assists.
15 goals and like 5 assists. Or
yeah. Combined 20 goal contributions in 30 games.
Because for me,
in 30 starts, not 30 games.
What if he doesn't start 30 games then? What's going to happen?
Then the bet's null and void.
So he gets injured halfway through the season. It's just like,
then the bet's null and void because that's not my fault. I'll
give you 20. I'm not going to give you 50 though. That's like a bit too much.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, one per goal contribution. All right, we'll wager it. You guys have heard it live on the podcast. We're not gambling, Alex. I promise. We'll bet 20 quid on him getting 20 goal contributions in 30 games. Harry doesn't think he will, and I think he will. There we go. That's one way to settle that argument. Fucking hell, right? How do we gain 30 minutes?
I want Brennan more goals than this, just so you know.
No, you're not educating. You're not renegotiating terms. Who are you, Daniel Levy? Fuck me.
Yeah.
Got a hairline.
I'll send you a shirt, and we'll knock off 5 million off the deal.
Send me an £85 shirt. You can wipe out the 20 quid right now. Hey, but I want a free afternoon in the cheese room as well. I don't even like cheese, but just for the love.
Of what? Cheese?
I want I want a free afternoon in the cheese room. Do you remember all that? All the memes, about making a cheese room for the new stadium. I was like, oh my god, we're getting a cheese room. What's he doing? It turned out it wasn't true. Right, I think we will end this week here before this has been a really heated, and we'll probably carry on the argument after the recording.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, next week I'm going to find a guest to do Guess Who. I have an idea of who it's going to be, but we will deal with that next week. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching if you're watching on YouTube. If you are watching on Spotify, please leave a 5-star rating. That'd be great. Somebody else has, apart from me. So that'd be great. Whatever platform you listen to it on, the support has been amazing. In the description, if you're on Spotify, swipe across to the About. And if you're on YouTube, go in the description. There is a link to my Discord server. In that Discord server is lots of tabs about Spurs, including a Spurs podcast guests, where I will put in there, if we need a guest for a week, if anyone wants to jump in. So if you are a Tottenham fan, download Discord if you haven't already got it. Join the server, and you can stay up to date. Or any content I post in there, any TikToks that are Spurs related or whatever, I'll post in there. I'm a little bit slacking because I've been in London all day. But yeah, so that's kind of the place to keep up to date on stuff like that. And for those, I forgot to mention it last week. For those of you guys that don't know, on a Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday from 9:30, I stream over on Twitch, twitch.tv/DavidSpursFM. We stream Football Manager on a Wednesday and a Thursday, and we stream Pro Clubs on Sunday. It was fucking hilarious. Whether we're streaming Pro Clubs or whether we're carrying on with the Minecraft server, I don't know. But we'll be doing that on streams on those dates and on those times. So come along, say ho. Hey, say ho? Say hey. Don't call me a ho. Fuck's sake, I need to go to bed. Say hi. Regardless, it'll be good fun. We had quite a few people that jumped in the stream. Fuck off. I'm done. I've lost all composure. Just like Brennan Johnson at the back post. I can't believe it. Right.
Sorry, guys. It's been really fun.
Yeah. So come into the stream. You're more than welcome to join in with the Pro Clubs as well if you've got a PlayStation or Xbox. So it'll be good fun. Other than that, thank you, Harry, for creating some good content, as always, arguing about something, but it's always good fun. Thank you guys so much for the support, and we'll catch you guys next week. As always, up the fucking Spurs.
Come you Spurs.